Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone.
How are you?
My name is Marsha Firajati.
My name is Suci Ayu Kurniasih.
We are from SMA Negeri 3 Bogor.
We will present our presentation about
the influence of online comic in resolving social conflicts. In this presentation, we will explain background, research question, methods, experimental design, result and analysis, and conclusion and future work.
Comics are one of most popular type of fiction. Readers of online comics may be influenced by what they have read or written, especially from the way they interact with people around them. This online comic can give a good or bad impact. People, especially teenagers, can make an online comics as a reference for thinking and solving problems and behaving both with themselves and people around.
Research question: is there an effect of online comics in resolving conflict and how to interact with other people? 2. How do online comic affect in resolving conflict and how to interact with other people? Did the readers get a positive or negative impact? Methods: we recorded 165 respondents using Google Form, both online comic reader and not. This questionnaire contained questions about respondents' personal opinion regarding their attitude after reading online comics, and some example of conflict related to stories in online comic in general.
We include several examples of problems that must be resolved. These questions are divided into two types. Type 1 is yes-no question. For example, do you have habits that are copied from online comic characters? And type 2 is essay question. For example, you have friends who like to bully. You've often read bullying stories from comics. What would you do if you were the victim?
Experimental design. First, preparing example of common problem faced by some people in general. Second, put in the question into the Google form in the form of a short form and multiple choice. Third, the questionnaire began to be distributed to respondents, and then the number of respondents reached the target. The questionnaire was completely closed on October 2020, and the last respondents' answer about the conflicts began to be analyzed in cross-sectional form.
The analysis result for statement that respondents who like to read online comics are 80.6% respondents like to read online comics and 19.4% respondents do not like online comics.
The age interval of the respondents. Look at the red part. From this chart, we can see that respondents who filled the questionnaire were in the age range of 15 until 18 years old. So the result of research is probably most accurate for respondents age 15 until 18 years old.
The graphic shows the number of respondents who can feel the atmosphere in online comics they read. The graphic number 1 indicates that the respondent can feel the atmosphere very well, and graphic number 5 indicates that the respondent cannot feel the atmosphere in online comics.
Respondents who have habits that are copied from online comic character. From this chart, we know that the most respondents feel they do not imitate the habit of the online comics character they read.
For statement that the respondents who feel the influence of online comics they read on their attitude towards other people, there are 18.9% respondents feel it, 14.6% respondents don't feel it, and 66.5% respondents were in doubt.
Respondents who feel the influence of online comic in facing problem. The largest part of this chart are respondents who feel the impact of online comic in facing problem.
For result of question types 2, there are 107 positive responses and 25 negative responses given by online comics readers when faced with a bad situation. And then there are 22 positive responses and 11 negative responses given by non-online comics reader when faced with a bad situation. Next, there are 104 positive responses and 28 negative responses given by online comics reader when faced with a good situation. And then there are 21 positive responses and 12 negative responses given by non-online comics reader when faced with a good situation.
This table presents data of response when respondents seeing someone in bad or good situation. It can be seen that the positive response was more in both situations.
There are 113 positive responses and 90 negative responses given by online comic readers to respond about interacting with people who have problems with respondents. And then there are 22 positive responses and 11 negative responses given by non-online comic readers to respond about interacting with people who have problems with the respondents. Next, there are 125 positive responses and 7 negative responses given by online comic readers to respond about interacting with people who don't have problems with the respondent. And then there are 30 positive responses and 3 negative responses given by non-online comic readers to respond about interacting with people who don't have problems with the respondents.
Based on this responses summary, both online comic reader or not, most respondents answered our question with a positive responses. However, this data can be processed in percentage of positive responses from online comic readers and non-online comic readers so that conclusion can be drawn.
We count the percentage of positive responses from online comic readers and non-online comic readers. There are 86.111% positive responses from online comic readers obtained from 682 divided 792 times 100%. And 70.707% positive responses from non-online comic readers obtained from 140 divided 198 times 100%. The difference in the percentage between positive responses from online comic readers and non-online comic readers is 15.404%.
Conclusion. From data, we can conclude that online comics have a little of positive influence of someone's behavior in resolving social conflict. Based on the result of analysis, this research got the different value of 15,404% between respondents who gave positive responses when faced with a case. Although not much, online comic readers can improve their understanding so they are more prepared when facing problems in different conditions.
This research will be examined more specifically on one of the online comic genres which is considered to have the greatest impact, so that the result of the research have a more contrasting number.
That's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.